Now we are going to look at how we are going to integrate Liquibase with Spring Boot project. I'm using the previous project which was created as part of the Maven demo, Maven and Liquibase plugin demo. In the pom.xml, we have the database as h2 and we have configured web and JPA, which is for the database purposes. So now what we are going to do is we are going to configure the change log at resources, which means in the application.properties, we are going to configure the change. So in order to do that, the change log would be created as part of the resources because Spring Boot reads all the resources from the resources folder, which is part of the SRC main. Start the project. I'm using Liquibase Spring Boot dashboard and starting the application. So we have not configured anything here, so it will be starting at 8080 port. If I try to start the application, now I got the error saying that changelog YAML file is not exist because this is the by default configured path for the Liquibase in case of the Spring Boot. As we have added the dependency as the Liquibase core available in the class path, so the Spring Boot project expecting the properties are set and the changelog is been available. db changelog master YAML file. So it's expecting one YAML file. So we'll be creating the YAML file and we'll be using SQL and XML both together. First of all, we need to configure changelog path just to ensure that we are using exactly the same. Always it's recommended to configure the properties even though those are default. Liquibase changelog. Here I'm saying class path. From the class path, I'm copying the same. And let's create the file. I created the file as well. So now the changelog contains it. Now we need to configure the database. So the Spring Liquibase, we can configure everything as a Liquibase URL, all this stuff. We can configure all the properties at the Liquibase. So in the Liquibase, we have URL, context, username, password, everything. If we have not configured any of the database properties at Liquibase, then it will be reading from the data source. Let's configure at the data source dot username. Here I am saying db user spring data source dot password db password and the URL spring data source dot URL is equals to jdbc h2 memory dev or Liquibase. I'm creating as part of the memory because we can see the latest ones, but as it's a memory, how can we access the database? That using h2 console enabled. So URL has been configured. Save all the files and start the application. The error creating the name Liquibase defined. Server startup has failed because db changelog is empty. So let's create it. So as part of it, the changelog needs to be created and here the first version. So right now I'm keeping change set. As part of the change set, everything is here. So ID is 1 and author is Ranga. And I don't have any context and dbms. We can ignore all of this and the comment is test comment. We need to give a little tab over here. So 2 characters. So save the file and start the application. So I'm running it from the Spring dashboard. So if we see it, the server has been successfully started at 8080 port. And if we see it here, the change set, which is first version, has been applied successfully as well. Let's verify the same. So how are you going to verify it? Let's open the browser. In the browser, we are going to access H2 database using the console. At the browser, I have opened 8080 port and H2-console, and this page would come. So here, it's using the default one. So let's reconfigure the same as per our Spring Boot project. So in the Spring Boot project, I am using the in-memory. Let's configure the in-memory one and db user, db password. Just run the test. Test is successful. Let's connect. db password and connect. Now we have connected. If you see it, we have not created any of the table, but we have created one change set with simple comment. So let's verify it. Yes, the first one has successfully executed, and here is the comments. So as part of the test comment has come. And if you want to apply the tag, you can apply the tag also. Now we are going to create two different sets, one with SQL in older version and another one is XML. Both the versions, we will try it out. So how are you going to do that? Instead of change set, I will be using include. Okay, as part of the include, I will be giving another file as a reference. So here I will be saying version 2. The author is Ranga. And here I need to provide the file. So the file would be, I will be giving changelog.sql. Let's remove all of them related to changelog file. Yes, it's related to the changelog file. So say true and just add 2 spaces because Eclipse is not doing good job on the formatting the YAML files. So I'm doing it. So let's configure the changelog, which is outside here, and I'm copying over here and restart the server. I'm restarting the server. So as part of the restart, it's going to read version 1 and version 2 together. So let's check the log. As part of the log, it read the master SQL and it is running master one. First one is successfully run, and the second one, which is a changelog.sql, also been read and it's been applied. Let's verify the same at database. Go to the database and then refresh. And here we need to enter the password. Now if we see it, as part of the change SQL, we have created table 1 and table 2, the test tables. Those has been successfully executed. Let's check the log file. If we check the log, it has executed from changelog.sql, applied version 2 and version 3. So both are SQLs. So it's running from the changelog SQL as we expected, and the other everything has been created. So let's verify against the changelog file. Changelog file has a test table and test table 2. So both has been successfully created. Now let's include third one, which is XML file. This author and ID will be overridden because the changelog has been read from the file. So that's the reason these will be overridden. But it is recommended to add all the information here as well. So let's copy the XML file and paste over here. So when I rerun it, let's ensure that changelog file does not run into, let's change the changelog file table 3 because table is already there, table 2 is also there. So I'm changing to table 3 and restart the application. So the third changelog will be executed as well. So server has been successfully started, which means it is applied changelog 3 as well successfully. So let's refresh the database. I refresh the database and log in. And I'm expecting table 3 has been created and the data has been added. So that has been inserted and the additional column also been added. So this is how we are going to do it. So instead of the simple files, every time we make an entry into the include, we can create a directory and we can add all of them. In such scenarios, it takes in an alphabetical order. So in that case, we will be creating 0 underscore changelog, 1 underscore changelog version 2, like that. So it comes in alphabetical order. And if you don't want Liquibase to be triggered, so all we need to do is Liquibase disable. Spring Liquibase enable, by default it will be true. We just need to set it to the false. In such scenarios, the database will not be initialized. So let's restart the application and check it. If you see the logs, there are no logs related to the Liquibase. If you check at the database, there is no tables has been created because we disabled the Liquibase. So this is how we are going to use the Liquibase at the Spring Boot projects. Thank you.